My son's teacher asked me to stay after pickup. She showed me a drawing he made. It was our house, with a person standing in every window. There are only 3 of us. He drew 7 people. I stared at the crayon drawing spread across the tiny desk, while my 6-year-old son Benji waited in the hallway with the teaching assistant. Completely unaware his artwork had sparked a parent-teacher emergency meeting, the house was unmistakably ours, right down to the red front door and the crooked mailbox my husband kept promising to fix every weekend. But in every single window stood a figure drawn in black crayon, 2 in the kitchen window, 1 in each of the 3 bedrooms, 1 in the bathroom, and 1 in the small attic window that we kept permanently locked because the previous owners had warned us the floor up there was unstable. Benji's been drawing variations of this exact picture for 2 weeks now, his teacher said quietly, her brow furrowed with genuine concern. I didn't want to alarm you at first because children draw strange things all the time, but today he told another student that the people in the windows watch him sleep every night. My blood ran cold and I felt my hands start trembling. He's always had an extremely active imagination, I said, but my voice came out shaky and unconvincing even to myself. Has anything changed at home recently? Any stress, trauma, or significant disruption in his routine? I shook my head slowly, but my mind was racing through possibilities. We'd moved into this house 4 months ago, an old Victorian that needed serious work but had beautiful bones and incredible potential. Great price for the neighborhood. Too great. I now realized looking back at how eager the sellers had been to close quickly. That night, I sat with Benji during dinner and tried to ask casual questions while keeping my voice light and curious. Tell me about your drawing today, buddy. The one with our house that you showed your teacher. He kept eating his chicken nuggets methodically like I hadn't spoken at all. Benji, can you tell mommy about the people in the windows? They don't like when I talk about them, he whispered without looking up from his plate. The tall one especially gets really mad when I say things. I felt every single hair on my arm stand straight up, my stomach twisted into knots. What tall one, sweetie? Can you describe him to me? The one who stands in your doorway at night watching. He watches you and daddy sleep for hours and hours. He has really long arms that hang down past his knees. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. My husband walked in from work at that exact moment whistling some random tune, and I must have looked absolutely terrified because he immediately dropped his briefcase and asked what was wrong. I showed him the drawing after Benji went to bed at 8. He laughed it off nervously at first, said kids imagine crazy things all the time, probably just saw something scary on television or YouTube that we didn't know about. But I noticed he double-checked every single lock in the house before we went to bed that night, something he'd never done before. That night I couldn't sleep at all. I lay there rigid for hours, staring at our bedroom doorway through the darkness, thinking about long arms and someone watching us. Around 3 a.m. I heard footsteps directly above us, distinct, heavy, deliberate footsteps creaking across the attic floor. My husband heard them too because he shot up in bed instantly. He grabbed the aluminum baseball bat from the closet and crept upstairs while I dialed 911 with shaking fingers and whispered our address to the dispatcher. The police found evidence that someone had been living in our attic for weeks, possibly months. There was a filthy sleeping bag in the corner, piles of empty food wrappers and cracker boxes, dozens of water bottles filled with urine lined against the wall. A small hole had been carefully drilled through the attic floor, positioned directly above our bed, covered with a tiny piece of wood that could be silently slid aside for viewing. They found a second hole drilled directly above Benji's bedroom. He'd been watching all of us, every single night. The officers said he must have been entering through the attic window while we were at work and school during the day, using the massive old oak tree beside the house to climb up undetected. Hidden in the insulation they found photographs. Hundreds and hundreds of photographs. Us sleeping peacefully in our bed. Us eating dinner at the kitchen table. Us watching television in the living room, completely unaware and vulnerable. One photograph showed him standing in our bedroom doorway while we slept, taken with a camera timer. Long arms hanging at his sides exactly like Benji had described. They caught him 3 days later attempting to break into another family's attic 2 streets over from us. He'd done this before to many families. At the police station, detectives told us he'd actually been watching our house since before we even moved in. He'd been living in that attic when we first toured the property with our realtor. He'd watched the previous family for 11 months before they moved away suddenly.